Oh, hello.
Hi.
Welcome back to our show. Like, what do I call this?
It's us lurking in the shadows.
Yeah. Welcome back to Lurking in the Shadows.
Today is lurking in the news, actually.
Yes, we're gonna do our next news segment.
I'm joining this time.
This time, what'd you say?
I'm joining this time, so.
Yes, Amber's joining this time. Because the first time it was kind of like a little bit like of a whim thing. I just quickly looked some things up and was like, oh, maybe we should talk about some news cases. So this time we got little. We're doing 6 this time. I think we had 5 in the first episode. And then the ones I have, 2 of them are a little bit on the longer side, but
Mine are all pretty short, so they're just little paragraphs to update you on some, all of them are different, I think. We did pretty good, like, trying to have
yeah.
a little bit of variety, but we also are trying to pick anything that's, like, the newest things to keep you up to date on.
Yeah, just current events happening in true crime, active cases, arrests, whatever.
Yeah, and then my news has been crazy over here. There was just a body found in the intercoastal waterway here.
Oh, really?
Yeah, unfortunately, it found out I was a homeless man,
Oh,
67 years old. So it was sad, but that was it was very nice over the weekend. So like everybody was starting to get out on the coast, the waterway. So
mm-hmm.
yeah, near Carolina Forest, where we just had all those fires and stuff. So
Oh, yeah. What happened with that? Are they still going?
and we keep having a few flare ups, but otherwise it was under control and everything. So everything was
Okay,
good with
good.
that. Yeah.
All right, so I guess we'll get into the first case. This is about Yahya Maley. A little bit of a trigger warning for this one because this guy's a piece of shit.
Hmm. Yeah, I got one of those too.
Okay. Their names need to be known too because talk shit on
That's
them.
right. Eat a bag of
Yeah.
dicks.
Yeah. Or choke on it. All right. So Yahya Maley, a 28-year-old man from Baldwin, Missouri, which is a suburb of St. Louis, he was arrested on Tuesday, February 11th at his Baldwin apartment. He is accused of raping at least 5 women he met on dating apps.
Mm.
I'm choosing to share this story because they think he might have potentially have other victims in other states. They believe the crimes took place from March 2023 to February 2025. He went by the name John on dating sites, and the crimes took place in his apartment. Victims said he would hold them against their will when he assaulted them. The most recent victim was held against her will for a period of 7 hours on February 2nd and was repeatedly sexually assaulted by him.
Ugh, that's disgusting.
It is. Another victim said Molly allegedly held her against her will for an hour and choked her. Molly was a student at Logan University, which is like a chiropractic school. They issued a statement saying he is no longer attending the university and that they are assisting police in this investigation.
Good.
So who knows how many fellow students he also could have assaulted.
Yeah, I mean, it's just kind of that culture. You're in college and
Mm-hmm. Yeah,
stuff. So I'm sure there are more victims.
I'm sure. One of the students who wanted to remain anonymous said there were warning signs because Molly made several female students feel uncomfortable during their chiropractic lessons, including herself. The student says she reported her concerns to the school, but no action was taken because it wasn't a Title IX violation. I looked that up because I don't know what that is. And it's a federal law that prohibits discrimination based on sex and education programs and activities that receive funding.
Okay.
Yeah. Molly is charged with 2 counts of first-degree rape or attempted rape, 7 counts of second-degree rape, 2 counts of first-degree kidnapping, and 2 counts of first-degree sodomy or attempted sodomy.
Hmm.
His cash-only bond was set at $500,000. Since he was charged, one more victim came forward. He was indicted on Thursday, February 27th, and the charges went up to 19 counts.
Good. Keep them coming.
Yep. They also discovered he lived in 3 other states. Henrico County, Virginia. He lived there from at least 2013 to 2021. Chicago, Illinois. He stayed there from January 12th, 2022 to February 12th, 2022. Tucson, Arizona. He stayed there from December 3rd, 2022 to January 7th, 2023. And Minneapolis to St. Paul, Minnesota. He stayed there from January 27th, 2023 to February 25th, 2023. Court records also showed 2 restraining orders had been filed against Maley since the initial charges were filed.
Good.
His hearing was set for March 19th, but there are no updates of what came of it. Like, literally no articles talking about what came of that hearing. Anyone with information who may have met Maley on a dating app is urged to call investigators at 314-615-5400.
Yes, don't be afraid.
Yeah, speak up.
Literally, if you need backup, shoot us an email. I'll come. I'll riot.
Yeah.
Yeah. I got
so
you,
if you lived
girlfriend.
in any of those cities or areas I mentioned in those dates, and you met a man named John on a dating app and he assaulted you in some way, please call that number. They want to hear from you.
Let's get that guy away for a very long time.
Yes.
Okay. So my next case, kind of a little bit more of a positive one. Karen Schepers, who was last seen April 16th, 1983, leaving a bar in Carpentersville, Illinois, around 1 a.m. After going there with some coworkers. Her car and herself were never found. They had no ideas. This is back in 83.
Yeah.
The podcast called Somebody Knows Something goes into greater detail about the whole Schepers case. So definitely give that a listen. It's the full case on that, but this is just the little update that we recently got. On March 25th, 2025, divers were able to recover a yellow 1980 Toyota Silica matching the license plate to Karen Schepers, and the car was pulled out around 2:48 p.m. It actually took them a couple of hours to get the car out because it's been so long, and they were trying to keep everything together to pull it out. They wound up being able to lift the car out with the crane. The local Ellen Police and a non-profit group called Chaos Divers, who specialize in searching for missing people in bodies of water, used sonar equipment to locate the vehicle. The vehicle was taken to Kane County Coroner's Office, where it was confirmed to contain skeletal remains. And the next step is to wait for the DNA samples to confirm that it is Karen. So, yeah, we can kind of presume it's going to be her, but that at least was able to bring some closure to her family then, because they literally had nothing. It was...
Yeah.
She just disappeared, and where her car was found is about a mile from her apartment that night.
Oh, she was so close.
Yeah, so.
I wonder if she was, like, drunk driving and just, like, lost control or something.
Yeah, I don't know, like, how many she had that night or what, but...
Sad.
Back in 83, man. That's...
Yeah. But like we've said before, I think the answer to a lot of missing persons cases is water.
I really do too.
Especially when their vehicle also goes missing.
Yeah. And it's never seen again. Yeah.
Yeah. But that's sad, but good that she was found.
Yeah, a little bit of closure.
Yeah. My next case is about Sam Nordquist. I'm also going to give a trigger warning for this case because it's horrendous.
I'm so glad I gave you all these this week.
I know. Yeah, I
You got
took the
all the
trauma
trauma this
this
week.
time. But yeah, this story actually made me feel a little sick to my stomach. Like it's
Oh
not.
no.
It's bad.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. All right.
So just buckle up for this one.
Okay.
But I want to share this story because it's very likely that this was a hate crime, and this story needs to be heard and known worldwide. So Sam Nordquist, a 24-year-old transgender man from Minnesota, so they were female to male transgender, was killed after being tortured for over a month.
What?
Yeah.
And this is recent.
Yeah.
Wow.
Nordquist had been tortured between December 2024 and February 2025 before being killed and dumped.
Oh my god.
It gets worse. So a little background. Sam Nordquist left his home in Minnesota last fall and traveled 1,000 miles to, crap, I should have looked up how to say this, Canandaigua, New York.
That's great. Perfect.
Canandaigua, New York.
Nailed it.
Um, to be with a woman he met online last August that he'd fallen in love with named Precious Arzuaga. They would talk for hours on the phone day and night, 7 days a week, said his mother, Linda Nordquist. She said Sam seemed smitten and exhilarated for romance from a woman who flooded him with affection. But she also said Sam was vulnerable. He looked like he was 15. And he did. He has a baby face.
Okay.
He looked very young. His mom says Precious love bombed him. Precious lived in New York's Finger Lakes region. She was 38 years old with several children, some young, some adults. It's not clear how many she had. But it seems like that didn't bother Sam. Sam began planning a trip to see her in mid-September and expected to stay a week. Jackson Seeger, a friend Sam met in an online transgender support group, said they watched videos Sam posted on TikTok with Precious and they all looked normal and they looked happy together. At first, things seemed to be going well. Sam would send his mom pictures of him and Precious together, but he never showed up on October 12th, 2024, the day he was supposed to come home, and didn't answer any calls or texts from family. He had told his mom previously he was staying in room 22 at Patty's Lodge, which is a roadside hotel on the outskirts of Canandaigua. Canandaigua.
That place in New York.
Yeah. The Finger Lakes area. And this little lodge was surrounded by farmland. And this is not a nice motel. Rooms are often rented for weeks at a time by people on the verge of homelessness.
Okay.
In some instances, their stays are paid for using vouchers provided by the Ontario County Department of Social Services. Others are registered sex offenders.
Lovely.
So a sketchy motel is where they're at.
Yeah, not good vibes. No.
It is unclear how or why Sam and Precious ended up at this motel. I'm thinking there was some pre-planning going on here, but we don't really know for sure why they were there. On October 13th, Linda contacted the New York State Police and requested a wellness check at room 22. Not long after, Sam and Precious called her and assured her that everything was fine. Sam told Linda that he wanted to stay indefinitely to pursue his new relationship and to help Precious support her kids. When police showed up, Sam told the trooper he was fine and did not need any medical or law enforcement help. After this, family continued to stay in contact, but Sam's responses became more infrequent. His mom said he didn't sound like himself. It's like he was being coached on what to say. And him and his mom were very close, so she knows how he talks.
Yeah.
And she said it didn't really sound like him. And when police came by previously, they never talked to Sam alone. They talked to him in front of Precious. So obviously everything seems fine, because if she's threatening him or something. He's not going to say that while she's standing right next to him.
Yep. Yeah. That's control.
Mm-hmm. On December 4th, Linda, his mom, got an email from the Ontario County Department of Social Services saying, "I'm working with your son Sam. He wanted me to reach out to you to see if you can please contact me as soon as you get this email." The agent told Linda that Precious was controlling Sam's cell phone use, that he wanted to come home to Minnesota, and that he was concocting an escape plan.
Oh my God. Okay.
Yeah.
I couldn't imagine being this mother.
No. Like,
God.
your heart would just drop to your stomach after reading
Yeah.
that email.
Yeah.
Sam was supposed to return to that social services office on December 19th, but he never showed up.
Mm.
Linda spoke with Sam on New Year's Day and said he kept the conversation short and said, "I love you and I'll call you tomorrow." And that was the last time she ever spoke to her son.
Oh.
There are apparently no witnesses to the abuse Sam suffered in room 22, even though it went on for weeks and involved multiple people. Like, I guess
Oh my God.
anybody else that was staying at this motel, they didn't hear anything, or they did and just ignored it and didn't report anything.
I was gonna
I
say
don't know.
it's just that group of people. Actually, I would say.
Yeah, it's not a good group of people that are staying there. So.
No, they're not trying to bring any kind of attention to themselves. They are
Right.
not putting their nose in
Mm-hmm.
anybody else's business.
Nope. Sam's family requested a welfare check to Patty's Lodge on February 9th and reported him missing to their local police on February 10th. His body was found 3 days later in a field not far from Patty's Lodge, wrapped in plastic bags.
Hmm.
7 people, including Sam's girlfriend, are accused of kicking, punching, starving, and sexually assaulting him, forcing him to consume feces, urine, and tobacco juice. His face was covered with fabric, and bleach was poured on him. Assistant DA Kelly Wolford said they treated him like a dog. The defendants physically restrained him and forced him to obey commands.
Wow.
The torture eventually caused his death.
For 2 months?
Yeah.
2 months. Who are these monsters?
They're hideous. I saw pictures of them. They're all hideous.
I wasn't picturing anything pretty, I promise.
Yeah.
God. Wow.
Yeah.
How do you...
2 young children. Oh, go ahead.
Like, they always say in Morbid, like, how do you meet these people? How do you meet these other people to do these things with?
How do you just happen to come across another monster?
Why, you have this human being.
What fate is aligning that allows these people to find each other?
Yeah, like, oh, would you like to come over for a cup of coffee to my hotel? By the way, ignore the guy in the corner, that I'm torturing. Would you like to join?
It's not funny. I'm just laughing because
I know it's not funny, but like,
yeah.
how does this happen? I don't understand that there are 7 rotten eggs that find each other and do this to somebody.
Yeah. And the fact that they all willingly participated.
Willingly, and did that together.
Mm-hmm.
Goodness gracious, great balls of fire. Okay, like that, I can't. Humanity, man, really makes me sad. Yeah. It really makes me sad.
Yeah. Yeah, it's hard to even think about like what he was going
I can't.
through. Like
I can't.
No.
And that mother finding out what could have.
Oh, his mom. Okay.
No, his mom. Yeah. The mother trying to. I couldn't imagine.
I know. Like, she's doing what she can to try and figure out what's going on.
Gets that email and then find out what happened to your son. Like, that's...
Mm-hmm.
Wow.
Yeah, it's like, find something out like this. Like, how do you compose yourself? How do you not just commit mass murder on these people? Right. Like...
Yeah.
Yeah. 2 young children, ages 7 and 12, were also coerced to join in.
Okay, yep. I really didn't
After
think
this,
that
like,
it
buckle up for this one. This is
yeah,
a
I
crazy
didn't
one.
think that we were getting any worse here, actually. Okay.
Yeah, yeah.
Wow.
A
Yeah.
7-year-old is being forced to torture a
Not
man.
only that, they had to watch this happen, obviously. They were
Yeah.
there around it.
Like, can you imagine the type of people these children are going to grow up to be
Oh, God.
because of this? Like,
The
they're not going to be productive members of society
Well,
unless
probably
they get lots of therapy and help.
our next case in 10 years,
Yeah.
Mm.
Because clearly, I'm sure this was not the first victim of this woman. Like,
Maybe to this
you don't,
extent, there cannot be the
right.
first time of, like, you
No.
laying hands on somebody like this.
Right. Going from 0 to 100, that's,
Absolutely not. No.
yeah.
This person just happened to be somebody who had somebody who cared about them enough to worry about their whereabouts,
Right. Yeah.
which is sad, which is an unfortunate
It
thing
is.
that happens to a lot of people. And, this is how we get these cases, that you have family and friends and things that care about
Mm-hmm.
where you're at. But this can't be their first time doing that. There's no way.
No, no, it can't be. Mm-mm. The 7 people were arrested and charged with first-degree murder and face life in prison without parole if convicted. They all pleaded not guilty on March
Yeah.
11th.
Yeah, of course I did. Wonder what the defense will be.
I have no idea. I'm going to list the names of these pieces of shit.
Okay.
Precious Arzuaga, 38. Jennifer Quiano, 30. Kyle Sage, 33. Patrick Goodwin, 30. Emily Matika, 19. Thomas Eves, 21. And Kimberly Soshia, 29.
Let me say this with my whole chest. Eat a bag of dicks.
Yeah. Get fucked.
Yeah. Twat waffles. God.
Yeah. You absolute grime on,
The
I don't
bottom
even
of
know.
my shoe, man. Like,
Yeah,
I wouldn't
worse than
piss
that.
you out if
The
you were
bottom
on
of my
fire.
work shoe that
Yeah.
step on hospital floor.
Mm. Ooh. Yeah, that's a good one.
Yeah.
Hospital floor.
Yeah.
Mm.
There's lots of nasty stuff there.
Yeah, there is. Fucking.
Yeah.
Wow.
This is a quote from Captain Kelly Swift of the New York State Police. In my 20 years in law enforcement, this is one of the most horrific crimes I have ever investigated.
Yeah. Yeah. I don't have words.
I know, say you're at a loss for words. Like,
I don't, which is not often for Amber, but I'm at a loss for words for this one. This is really disgusting.
Yeah. Yeah.
That, like, do we know if it was a hate crime?
We don't know for sure, but it's kind of assumed.
Yeah.
Precious, a former ex-girlfriend came forward saying she experienced abuse from Precious in their relationship and that Precious was very controlling. So she's not a good person to begin with.
And she has
I don't
kids.
know how she found anyone to have multiple children with her, but...
Yeah, exactly. And she's got kids.
Yeah.
Like, that's... Wow.
And we don't even know how many children. She has multiple.
No, they probably can't put a number to it,
No, they probably can't. God. Yeah, there's no information on how all these people involved know each other or how this plan came to be or, like, whose idea it was. Like,
anyway.
But, I mean, Precious is known to be abusive, so obviously she did play a big role. But, like, where did all these other people come from? Did she just call them up and was like, hey, I want to find some trans person on the internet, pretend I'm in love with them, and I want to torture them? And someone's like, oh, hell yeah, let's do it.
Yeah, there's
like,
no
how did
way
this happen?
that was the conversation. Like, it had to just be circumstance of, like, I mean, because saying that they talked on the phone constantly, she was putting in some work here. If she was really trying to...
Right.
You
So it
know,
makes you
like,
wonder, was all this just some sick game, or was she really interested at some point and then
and
things just
then met
really
him
went
and
south?
just like, yeah, and then I don't know, a switch flicked for her or something when he
Yeah.
came that like, oh, this makes me angry or whatever.
Hmm.
You know, I bet once the trial and everything, a lot more will come out as far as like what evidence and,
Right.
whether it's texts, conversations, or whatever. That stuff's definitely going to come out, and I bet
Hmm.
all our answers are probably in there.
I hope so.
Hmm.
Because I would hate to be on this jury because
Oh yeah, that.
having to
Oh
listen
man,
to all the nasty details.
God, yeah, that's terrible. Well, I guess we wait for justice for how you say his name again?
Mhm. Sam Nordquist.
Sam Norquist. Yes, for
He
Sam.
was only 24 years old.
24. What a baby.
Mm. Just
God.
trying to find love, and this is what happens.
Oh, sounds like a sweet guy too.
Yeah.
Traveling that far and everything.
Yeah. Like it's the whole thing's disgusting. Like,
Okay, so my next case is another more positive.
good. We're going up and down.
Yeah, up
Balance
and
it
down.
out.
We're taking a roller. Yeah, that's right. Balance. That's what I'm about, man.
Yeah.
So William Cross, who goes by Will, is a 29-year-old male from Huntsville, Tennessee. On May 18th, 2018, Will was dropped off on Williamsburg Street in Whitley, Kentucky at midnight. He made a phone call to his family members uh, around that time at midnight and was talking to them while he was walking into the woods. And he had told the person on the phone that he's walking into the woods. And then the call dropped. And that is the last time anybody heard from Will.
That's scary.
Remains, yeah, just walked into the woods on a phone call. Remains were found in October of 2023 in McCary County, Kentucky. And on March 23rd of 2025, those remains were finally identified. Okay, if you heard correctly, that's a year and a half. Were finally identified as William Cross.
Oh,
So again, just bringing a little bit of peace of mind and closure to his family.
yeah. Do we know why he was going into the woods?
No, he was oh no, I had to think back he was getting dropped off by a friend, and was he visiting someone? Damn, I should have wrote that down. I don't remember if I got the whole story on that one because I think I would have wrote that down. Damn, Amber. But he was just visiting. Like he was not supposed to be gone for an extended period of time or anything.
Hmm.
Um, and he was just walking in the woods, and that was it. And
That's
that's
so
all I
weird. Why are
had
you
on
walking
him. There
into the
was
woods? And what time of the
I
year
don't
was
know,
it
and he
again that
stated
he?
it was May.
So he didn't succumb to no elements.
No, I mean, yeah, it's May in Kentucky. So,
Yeah. That's.
and then his body was found in another county in Kentucky.
Hmm.
And then it took him a year and a half to even identify it was him. So
It's so
there's
weird. There's lots of.
there's nothing they could investigate even to get a
Yeah,
story.
lots of
All
unanswered
they have is
questions
that
here.
all they have is that final phone call, and for whatever reason, I mean, he stated on the phone to his family that he's walking into the woods.
Right. But it's like, where were
So
you going?
yeah, it's a
Like,
mystery.
where? I wonder if could he have been suicidal? Was there a weapon found?
Nothing was
Like,
stated about like a weapon or anything.
yeah. Hmm. Yeah, it's
But I
always so
mean,
weird. Like, because I know of other cases where someone like goes into the woods and then, like, well, even that on the last news episode I did, that guy that just walked away from his home and is found a couple yards away.
yeah,
Like, what? How? Like,
I know what's
in that
happening.
short distance? How are you dying out there?
I don't know.
It's so weird.
It is. But at least in this case, again, it's just bringing closure for a
Mm-hmm.
family that, for the last 7 years, had no idea where their son
Yeah.
went. So,
So it's bittersweet.
yeah.
My next case is about Qaadir and Naazir Lewis. They are 19-year-old twin brothers found shot to death at the top of a Georgia mountain.
You mentioned this to me. I was interested in this one.
Yeah. Yeah.
Okay.
So they were discovered by hikers at the top of Bell Mountain in Hiawassee, Georgia on March 8th, 2025. The weird thing about this case is the boys booked a flight to Boston to visit friends about 24 hours prior to this on March 7th. So they were supposed to leave for a 7 a.m. flight on March 8th, the day that they're found dead. They never made their flight out of Atlanta, Georgia. The mountain they were found on is 90 miles north from their Lawrenceville, Georgia home. The airport they were supposed to be going to is south. So how are they ending up on a mountain when they're trying to go to an airport? Like, this is 2025. We have GPS.
Yeah. Why? Yeah. Why are we there?
Family says they've never even heard of Bell Mountain, nor have the boys ever been there. So how did they end up there? Their plane tickets were found in their wallets. I have a lot of questions that I couldn't find answers to, like who took them to the airport? Did they drive themselves? Is
Okay.
there any
Yeah.
proof that they actually made it to the airport? Is there surveillance of them at the airport leaving? If they did drive themselves, where's their car?
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
I didn't find any of this in my research. I don't know if
Hmm.
that's on purpose because they're still investigating.
That's what I'm guessing.
Um, but at the same time, police are kind of thinking this is something that it's likely not. But we'll get into that in a minute. But it's just a lot of like, I don't even know if police are even trying to answer these questions I just asked. Because
Okay.
this is
Yeah.
when I'm reading through this case, this is what I'm thinking. Because we can, I feel like, get some answers if is there surveillance? Did they even look at airport surveillance to see if they made it? Because how'd they get their plane tickets then?
Yeah. I'm wondering, did they print them out? Are these printed out at home plane tickets,
Right.
or did they go to the
Or
airport?
was it like an act or airport? Yeah, I don't know.
Yeah. And also, they had them printed out before they went. I mean, me and you, we usually just have the app on our phone, you know?
Right.
So our where's cell phones at? Where's,
Yeah.
I bet you could get some GPS tracking off of those things. I'm
Hmm.
guessing all of these answers are because it's under investigation. There's no way they're stupid enough that they're not looking into this. There's no way they found these two and were like, oh, they got to this mountain somehow and now they're dead. Whoop, that's it.
Well, the Georgia Bureau of Investigation suggests their death is a murder-suicide.
Ah, you shut right now. You
That's what
shut your mouth. There's no way. How does this happen?
I just can't anymore. Like,
It's not a murder suicide. They did not buy plane tickets to leave and kill themselves on the same day.
we're only how many cases in, and the amount of false suicide rulings we've come across is astonishing.
It is. This is ridiculous.
Like, is one of the prerequisites to work in law enforcement no common sense?
If it looks
I feel like it has to be.
murder,
I feel like if you work in law enforcement, you have no common sense because every case we've covered so far, pretty much the ruling is incorrect
Yeah, literally. I feel
because
like
of
there's
lack of investigation.
somebody there's a somebody on the police force shows up with a hat. Oh, I got the hat. Let's pick what we got today.
Yeah. Well, that guy,
Suicide.
it's not funny, but it's.
It's not with morbid humor. I'm
But
all
we
about it.
have to
But
laugh because otherwise I'm gonna punch the wall. You know what I
yeah,
mean? Like,
I'm gonna riot.
yes. What do
Georgia
you
ain't
mean
that
murder
far from me.
suicide?
Let's go. What's this county? What's the county?
They live in Lawrence. Is it Lawrenceville? Lawrenceville, Georgia. I don't know what the county is.
Okay, I'll have to look that up, see how far away from me it is.
That's true. You're not too far.
No, I'm not.
Family members say the twins would never do that. They were very protective of each other. Their uncle, Raheem Bronner, said, "They're like inseparable. I couldn't imagine them hurting each other because I've never seen them even get into a fist fight before." An autopsy was completed on March 16, 2025, but results are pending additional forensic tests.
I say,
Family,
because like, whose gun is this?
right.
All those questions.
Mm-hmm. And I didn't even see anything, or I don't even think I read anything about a gun. So I'm like, how is this murder suicide? Anyway. Family thinks foul play was involved, and I agree. This makes no sense because, like we were just saying, like, was a gun found at the scene? Because that's
Yeah,
not
like,
mentioned anywhere, and
yeah,
that's the only possible way this was a murder suicide. Is if there's a gun
yeah,
right next to them. That's the only possible way.
yep,
There are very minimal details released on this case. Like I said before, I don't know if that's to protect the investigation or because they just don't care enough to investigate because they're two black men.
Well, let's fingers crossed that it's that they're gonna actually do their job for us, and that
I
we
hope
can
so.
hopefully give an update that we have a criminal in custody, because obviously so many things are flying through my head, but I really
Right?
think somebody, like, I don't know, freaking kidnapped them, hijacked a car or something. I don't know.
Right?
There's
Like
so many
who took them to
possibilities.
the airport? That's what I want to know. And even like in interviews with their family, I didn't see anything about family saying, "Oh yeah, we dropped them off," or "Oh they drove themselves."
Yeah, where's the
Who
car?
took them to the airport?
Yeah,
And at
I
what
agree with
point did they get misguided?
you. Yeah, those are all hopefully questions that we'll get answers to.
Right, I hope so. And also, like, why would they waste money on an airplane ticket if they were just going to harm themselves?
That's my thing.
Like,
Like, there's no way.
were their cell
And
phones traced?
they
There's
had the
really no
ticket.
information.
They had their ticket in their wallet, so they
Hmm.
they were prepared. Like, we're going to the
Yeah.
airport or whatever. You
And I
know?
also didn't see anything about was luggage found? What happened to their luggage?
Yeah, so many
Was there a
questions.
vehicle there? Like, there are so many questions that need answered.
Well, I think for this one, let's just hope that we can maybe give an update at some point, because
I hope so. Because that's
um
really all I know. We're just waiting on the final autopsy ruling.
yeah. But then they should be investigating other things, and eventually they'll probably hopefully release the information, but that's terrible.
It
That's
is. And
so
I
random.
literally just asked how many questions that they can use to go off of and investigate. If they're
Yeah,
stuck, I have lots of questions they can answer.
send this to the local police there so
Yeah,
that they can we gave them some prompts, some questions to answer. We already
yeah,
did half the work for them.
yeah. We did have to work, and if they
Yep.
need help, I'll gladly help.
Anyway, right? Okay, so my last case is my trigger warning case. So on March 18th, Keimani Latigue, a 13-year-old girl, was reported missing out of Toledo, Ohio. By March 23rd, the local police department had issued an arrest warrant for the last known person seen with Keimani, her father, 33-year-old Darrell Jones. On March 24th, her body was found in a burned, abandoned building. She was nearly decapitated, sexually assaulted, and her hands were cut off.
Oh,
Jones was arrested March 25th on murder charges by Toledo police after a shootout had left him with critical injuries, but he is
good.
in stable condition.
Oh, darn it.
I know. Yeah, I know. He was questioned by police when he gave inconsistent statements about his whereabouts with his daughter. There was a walkthrough service for Keimani at the local YMCA. Hundreds of people attended as a community mourned the loss of this beautiful little girl.
She was
And
cute.
she is so cute. Oh my goodness, so cute. And he's a piece of shit, and I don't like, again with this one, a lot of information. I don't understand. Was he trying to get away with it, cutting hands off and stuff like that? Like, I don't know.
And what were the events leading up to this? Like, because did she live with him?
No, she
I didn't
lived with
think
her
so.
grandmother.
With her grandma. Okay.
Yeah,
It's like,
yeah,
did
she
he
lived with her.
often visit her? Did she see him much at all?
I
Or just
couldn't
like,
find any information as to like their relationship together, like how
yeah.
often they would be
Well, it couldn't have been
together.
that good.
And there was some information because she was living with her grandmother that CPS was called on the grandmother. And the whole reason I didn't include this in this is because I personally don't think that the grandmother had anything to do with this. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
And the father wasn't living there at the time when they CPS, that as far as I could find his information wise,
Yeah.
that it didn't state that CPS was going to investigate him or anything. It was the grandmother. And it was I think it was just a typical teenager, maybe like getting a little more disciplined than what they would like, type
Yeah.
of thing. But I don't know. You never know.
Right.
Also, you never know. So I'm
It could
glad
be
that
a whole family of horrible people.
yeah, and they looked into it. They did.
Mhm.
They looked into the previous CPS cases, and like, we're going to investigate it. But I personally don't think that these have any kind of like fuel to what happened currently.
Yeah.
And I didn't want to bring any, like, especially if there's no, I didn't want like the grandma to, like, I think she was probably just doing her best, type of thing. But
Yeah.
why, why did this
Yeah.
father do this to his
Right. Like,
daughter?
there is no motive. Like, there just isn't. Like,
No. And but like, and like you said, his I couldn't find like actual quotes or statements or anything of like interviews as to what their whereabouts were together. But
mhm.
I'm real curious what like those final hours led up to for them to find themselves in a burned out abandoned building and for him to do
Right.
that.
Yeah. Like, why are you taking your daughter to an abandoned building? Like,
Yeah.
was she
What
already
were they
dead before
doing?
that?
Yeah.
Like,
Yeah. So lots of questions for this one too. Super sad
disgusting.
story. Beautiful name, Keimani.
Mhm.
Beautiful girl. So
Yeah, and I saw
sad.
an article about how the community came together, and there was like tons of. So they made a memorial out of that house for her,
Yeah.
and tons of
Yeah.
stuff there to honor her.
Yeah. Yeah. It's literally, most of the articles I could find, like, their titles were like community coming together. And so like
Yeah.
it was definitely a community that was turned upside down with this kind of
Yeah.
crime. And it's really sad.
And it's refreshing to know there are still good people out there that do come together,
Yes.
despite all these, horrible people we tell you about each week.
There are still good people out there.
There are.
All right. Balance in the world.
Yeah. But good luck in prison, you bitch ass
Yeah.
bitch.
Darrell Jones.
Yeah.
Fucking, I hope you choke on a bag of dicks.
Oh, there's gonna be lots of them. Like, they're gonna. He
Oh,
assaulted a
yeah.
child.
Yeah, he
So
assaulted a
yeah, good luck,
child.
sir.
Yeah. Prison's problem now,
Yep,
bitch.
yep, yep. You're someone's bitch now,
Yeah, that's right.
bitch.
Bitch ass bitch.
You're right.
make like a shadow and follow us on Instagram, Facebook, and YouTube at.
Lurking in the Shadows podcast.
Check us out on TikTok at.
Lurking in the Shadows pod.
Shoot us an email if you have any case suggestions.
At Lurking in the Shadows podcast at gmail.com. And please reach out to us because we would love to have ideas of what to cover next. Even for the news cases, even if it's not like, oh, cover this case as like a full episode. Even if it's news, if you came across something or maybe you're related to someone where something happened, you want to share their story, please reach out.
Yes.
We will gladly share it. And keep lurking around for our next episode.
Bye. Bye.